Science major up here. My goodness. I hope we haven't discouraged any of you from going into political science. Um, just a disclaimer, if it's something that you're interested in, please try it out. You may love it. Um, but I guess, I don't know, something that I'm interested in is, I guess, kind of some of the struggles that, I know that all of us go through struggles, and we all have tough moments in our life, obstacles that we have to overcome. And I just want to hear from you guys, maybe some of the obstacles that you guys have really had to overcome to, be where you are today, and to experience, the success that you've had, and this journey that we've been on. So.
Hello again. Probably handed me the mic because I've got a soap opera for you, and I'll trim it down. So, like I said, I'm first gen, but I was also first gen high schooler. I didn't go to middle school. I didn't go to high school. I worked, and I took care of my family. And it wasn't until I was about 19 when my mom sat me down, and she's like, look, I was a dropout. You're smarter than I am. You're smarter than some of your smartest uncles, and they're pretty stupid. And she said, if you don't go back to school and get your GED or your high school diploma, I'm kicking you out. And I said, well, I'm working 3 jobs, bringing in all this money. What are you going to do without me? And she said, I was 33 when I had you, and I'll be fine without you again. And it was some tough Indian mama love. And I think probably all the Indian moms in here know. They're just like, yep, I'd do that too. But it was that push that I needed where I went to the community college. So, woot woot, community college. I went to Milwaukee Area Technical College, and they had an adult high school program. And I'd say 80% of my classmates had ankle bracelets or strollers. And their parole officers would come in and call roll every morning at the beginning of class. And I'm sitting there, this sheltered little urban Indian girl, just like, oh God, am I gonna die in class? Not really sure what to expect, because I had never been in a real school environment before. And it was the best thing I ever did. And I ended up just falling into a path with another really great community. And I kind of had to create some of it. You got to find your people and make your own group where you're at. But I did community college for my adult high school. I carried on into the Associate of Arts program and got my liberal arts degree. And through this course of finding the right folks, Stephen Abbott, is he here? Is he in our college row outside, or is he in here? He's here. He's outside. Yeah, so Stephen Abbott, if you can hear me, thank you. I, on a whim with my mom and my grandma, we were driving out east for something to visit some family. And my mom's like, you want to go see Harvard? I was like, sure, like in the movies. And we stopped into the Indian office there, and there's Stephen Abbott. And he told me about a program called College Horizons. And it was College Horizons that told me about Stanford, which I also had never heard of. And that's how I got hooked up with Stanford. So it was a series of wonderful accidents. But when I say accidents, I mean there's no such thing really. It's a matter of being prepared and finding those opportunities. And when you are prepared and opportunities present themselves, you can take advantage of them. And you can't take advantage of them if you're not prepared for them. So I had a series of those opportunities that I took advantage of and ended up at Stanford, where I ended up getting academic probation in my first year because I just wasn't ready. And then I was suspended because I wasn't ready, and I had things happening at home. And I still came back. And then I was suspended again. And then I still came back, and I finished. It took me 6 years, but I finished. And I'm telling you that. But I'm telling you that because nothing about my life or my path has been cookie cutter. None of it has been perfect. None of it has been easy. The easiest part about it was spending a lot of it next to folks like this. Next to folks who understand that it's not easy, and it's not going to be perfect, and it's not going to look like it is in the movies. It's going to be hard. But it's so much more rewarding when it's harder. When it's more difficult and you make it through more obstacles, and you make it through your own barriers that you kind of create for yourselves, it's a lot easier to enjoy it when it's all done, because now I can look back and say, holy cow, if I made it through all that, I can get up in the morning and go to work and do all the easy stuff. Everything else seems a little bit easier. And then another aspect of this that I want to share, and this is, I think, I've been very open about it, and I know just statistically I share space with a lot of people in the room, not just women, but I'm a 3-time sexual assault survivor. And I've spoken about this publicly a lot, and it makes people very uncomfortable sometimes, but I want to make sure that we name that in the space to know that none of us are alone, and that it does create a lot of fear and a lot of anger, and you have to learn how to work through that, and the best way that you can do that is finding a community. And trust me, there's no better community that's going to understand than Natives, particularly Native women. Tanea talked a lot about it last night in her pieces. So it hits me close to my heart, but I want you to know that it doesn't have to be the end of a story, and it's going to shape your story, it's going to change your story. But in terms of hardships, you'd be hard-pressed to find anything much harder than trying to bounce back from a low, from that depth of pain and darkness, and to know that you have people up here who are willing to support you through all of that and make sure that you can go ahead and find those opportunities and still take advantage of them. That it doesn't have to be the be-all, the end-all. It doesn't have to determine your path. That's one thing I want to highlight for all of you, not just the young women, but for each of you. So I hope that in some way my messy soap opera story is in some way telling you that it's okay if it doesn't look perfect or if it doesn't look the way you think it's supposed to look. It's your story, and it's perfectly beautiful in its own unique, flawed way. So go ahead and fail quickly, fail often, because it's all about how you bounce back from that. So that's my 2 many words.